Hey everybody, and I want to share a story with you guys. It's your coach Dave here, and I want to share a story that's very near and dear to me. And it's going to take you back to the year of like the fall of 95, 96. I was at the University at Albany, and I was doing what most college people, probably college guys do. And I remember horse playing around in the dorm room one night, and I'm wrestling around with a friend of mine. And I end up banging my head on a wall in like the concrete wall in the dorm room. And I go down, I get knocked down, and I'm sitting there, and I was playing with a friend of mine, and I'm kind of like in and out of being like, not that I was out of consciousness, but just kind of like in a fog. And I remember this person came in. And he brought an ice pack in. He immediately came over to help me out, and he, are you okay? And I met him at the time, and he helped me that single day, and his name was David Brinkerhoff, and he goes by the name Brink. And it was somebody like that very day that helped me when I got hurt. He lived in the dorm building that I lived in the hallway. He heard that I got hurt just from horse playing around and doing stupid things in college. I'm sure we all can relate to some stories. And he helped me out, and right from that day, I'll never forget that, because Dave and I call him Brink and I developed a bond and developed a friendship from, in fact, that from that day. We ended up rooming with each other as people in the same dorm the following semester. Dave and I became real good friends, and we decided to pledge a fraternity together at the University at Albany. We were both Sammy brothers, and we went through like the Hell Week and all that craziness with the fraternity. We both went and worked at Macy's. I got a job at Macy's through my mom. I was actually selling women's shoes for a while. Yeah, can you imagine that? And then I remember seeing guys work in security department, and was like, that's what I want to do, knowing I wanted to be in law enforcement. And I got into security, and I got Dave a job there, and Dave worked in security, and we worked security together. We were in a fraternity together, and we just did everything together. We even became EMTs together. Dave was an EMT prior, but I became an EMT, and wow, we joined five quad volunteer ambulance corps at the University at Albany. We became EMTs together, and normally when an ambulance goes out, you gotta have 3 people in an ambulance to go to a call. And I remember there was one way that you could only have 2 people in. You can have the main EMT and the driver, but you had to go through like more testing, and you had to rise to another level. And I remember Dave and I saying, Brink and I saying, we want to do that, we just him and I, how cool would it be? And we did what we had to do, and we were able to ride the ambulance, just the 2 of us together. And guys, literally, we became best friends. We did everything together. People were like, you guys like a couple or something? Because we were just so close. We did everything together. We had the same values, we had the same passions, we had the same goals, and we actually both wanted to get in law enforcement. And if those of you that don't know, to get in law enforcement, you can end up taking a lot of tests. It's very competitive. They can go through thousands of applicants to find like 100 qualified people. So Dave and I took the New York State Police, New York State Trooper exam, the same test when we were in college, and we scored like a 1/10 of a point difference. And we both, in our second semester of college, got called by the New York State Police. This is in 1998, in late 97, 98, to go into the New York State Police Academy. And we just couldn't believe we scored that close together, but it was kind of like on the path of Dave and I did everything together, and we both ended up going into the State Police Academy together. And we went through the academy together, and we graduated the academy in May of 99. And we were just the best of friends. I ended up getting married to my wife, Kristen. Dave was in my wedding party. He ended up getting married to his wife, Barb, at the time. I was in his wedding party. So he was basically my second brother. He was the closest person I had in my life. We did everything together. So we decided at a point that we also wanted to be on our New York State Police SWAT team. And I was able to try out a little earlier than him because of certain qualifications that I had when it came to firearms training. He didn't have the first time around. And I tried out, and I didn't end up making the team. I only had 3 years on the state police. And I'll never forget that, probably like a year or 2 years later, this is probably around 2006, Dave was able to try out for the SWAT team again. I happened to be a detective at the time, an investigator in the state police, and I was no longer eligible to try out because I was in a certain unit with the state police. And Dave tried out in the SWAT team, and he made it, an elite group within the New York State Police. And that year happened to be a very, very, very rough year for the New York State Police, because a lot of state troopers in that year got shot. And a couple of them paid the ultimate sacrifice and lost their life. And the day Dave graduated from the SWAT school, which at the time was called MRT, Mobile Response Team, I remember being at his graduation, super excited for him. And I remember our superintendent of the state police basically said, congratulations to all of you, but I am sending all of you guys out to Buffalo, because we had a guy that escaped from a state prison that has shot a New York State trooper, and he was on the run in the woods. His name was Ralph Bucky Phillips. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that or heard it on the news, but if you Google it, you can hear the story about it. We literally that day had a huge tent sent up for Dave's party, and we literally had the party with his wife and everybody, and he wasn't even there. But we celebrated for Dave because he was out west putting his life on the line. April 25th, 2007, another New York State trooper was shot out near the Margaretville area of New York. And Dave, I remember talking to Dave on April 24th and even the 23rd, because we planned a trip. His wife and himself just had a baby. His wife actually almost lost, had a tough pregnancy and a tough childbirth, and really was going through a rough time. Didn't know if she was even going to survive through the birth of their child. And their child ended up with being born with Down syndrome. And I remember it was a real tough time for Dave. His baby, his daughter Isabella, wasn't even a year old. But we planned on going to the Outer Banks in the Carolinas. And I remember talking to him that week before this trooper was shot on April 24th, and him he organized it. And I remember talking to him, clearly remember that day. And I remember saying, Dave, I'm sending you the last check for our trip. And I remember the last thing he said, they better not be made out of rubber, just joking, very sarcastic. We laughed all the time, and I laughed, and we hung up the phone. And April 24th happened, and a trooper was shot. And on April 25th, I'm at my desk, I'm at work, and I get news that we hear that another state trooper was shot, and it was a SWAT team member. And I remember picking up the phone, and I remember punching the numbers in and dialing and calling Dave, Brink, and leaving messages on the phone. Brink, what's going on? A state police member got shot. I heard it was one of the SWAT guys. Are you out there? I'm trying to get in touch with you. Call me back. And I'd call him again, and it would ring. Dave, I'm trying to get in touch with you. Call me back. And as I'm hanging up the phone the one time, my cell phone, one of my partners says, Dave, there's somebody on the work phone for you. He says he's a college friend of yours. His name is Adam. And it didn't register to me, but Adam at the time was a police officer up near Albany. And I pick up the phone and I say, hey, Adam, what's going on? He goes, hey, did you hear about, another state police member was shot? I said, yes, I'm trying to get in touch with Brink. I left him messages. He's like, David. I'm like, what? He's like, it was Brink. And I said, what? It was Brink. I'm like, is he okay? And he said, no. I go, what do you mean no? And he said, he didn't make it. I get upset every time I talk about this. He didn't make it. He was the trooper that was shot on April 25th, 2007. And I remember my friend that was there took me, and we rushed up to the hospital in Margaretville. And I remember running in, and all the troopers were there, and I remember I'm saying, where is he? Where is he? And they pointed to a room, and I went, and there was a couple other troopers there, and I basically pushed them out of the way, and I went in, and there lying on the table was my best friend that was shot and killed, that wasn't here anymore. My best friend that I did everything in college with, my best friend whose wedding party we were just talking about a vacation earlier that week. And I remember crawling on my knees over him and just bawling. And then I remember somebody saying, Dave, his mother's here. And I went out, and I remember she came around the corner, we made eye contact, and she yelled my name, and an unbelievable hug. And I took his mother in to see Brink. And seeing her expression seeing her son that was dead and my best friend was something I'll never forget. I ended up doing the eulogy at my best friend's funeral where the governor was there. It was a police funeral. For those of you that have never seen one before, it is just hundreds and hundreds of law enforcement, thousands of law enforcement that come from all over the world, literally. And I remember having to do, and I was asked by his wife to, in fact, do the eulogy for him that day. He ended up getting into a shootout with the person that, in fact, shot the trooper the day before. And he paid the ultimate sacrifice on April 25th in a shootout with the SWAT team and ended up getting shot and killed, my best friend. And I'm sharing this story with you guys because I realized that every single day, life is a blessing and life is a gift. And if you can be checked out today, and how will we be remembered, and how do we realize that life can be over in an instant? And we can't always control the circumstances around us in life. We can't always control what happens to us, but we absolutely can control how we react to certain things, and we absolutely can control the controllable. And what I mean by that is looking around in today and seeing the amount of people that are dying from type 2 diabetes, from hypertension, from high blood pressure, and all of this is related to obesity. Without our health, we have nothing. And when my friend lost his life, I realized how fragile life is. And I realized the time, and having my first daughter and having a family, that I needed to take care of my health first. Because there is no tomorrow, there is no maybe, there is no next time, there isn't maybe next week, because you may not have tomorrow. You may not have next week. Your kids may not be able to see you next week because you just never know what will happen. I would have never thought that my best friend, to the day he died, when I was frantically calling and leaving messages, that it was him. And I say this with such passion because I take my health and I realize my health is very, very serious, because I want to be the best father, the best parent, the best husband, the best worker, the best coach that I can be for everybody else. And I'm sharing this message because I want you to look at yourself and reflect on your own life and realize that your health is super important. And your life, you don't know when your number is going to be called. And every single day, life is a blessing and life is a gift. And you have to take your health seriously. And for me, the fact that I was able to fall into, in the craziness of life, the Beachbody programs that I was able to do at home, because I used to be 20 pounds overweight. I used to be on high blood pressure medications after Brink passed away. And I realized things needed to change. And I was very lucky and fortunate enough to be introduced to P90X, which is one of the first programs I did, because having kids and having work, it's hard. It's hard to get to the gym. It's hard to find time to exercise. And it was a struggle for me. And being able to do my workouts at home, and then able to drink what I have been drinking now for years, my Shakeology, every single day, I lost the 20 pounds. I'm no longer on high blood pressure medications, and I'm the best person I can be. And I realized there is no price that I can put on my health. None. Because there's one thing I can control, and that's me. The exercise I do every day, what I put in my body every day, what I do every day, what I drink every day, I can control that. I can't control what's gonna happen out there. I can't control things that could happen in an instant and life can be over. So I wanna be the best person I can be today, because there are people that no matter where you are in life, there are people that are looking for your energy. There are people that are looking for your passion. There are people that are looking for your zeal. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your coworkers. But this world, this society lacks leaders. They lack people that can help people. And my goal is to inspire people, to let them know, guys, you have to take care of your health. You have to take care of yourself. And there's people out there, no matter where you are in life, that you in fact can touch and heal and be a role model to. And it begins with taking care of you. And losing my best friend, this really came back full circle and made me realize that I had to take care of my health, or else nothing else matters. If you're sick, if you have ailments, if you're not taking care of yourself, nothing else matters. Nothing. So I'm here to, guys, we're here to share with you guys that I want you really to continue to take care of yourself, take care of your life, and take things seriously, because without our health, we have nothing, and you don't know when your last day can be. So I share that story with you. It always gets me upset to talk about my best friend Brink, and this is a bracelet I have worn from the day he died. It says, in honor and memory of David C. Brinkerhoff, New York State Police, end of watch, 4/25/2007. You guys can see the dates right there. And this is the words that I wear every day, this bracelet, because he's still with me every single day. So I urge you guys to take care of your health, take care of your life, rise to what you could be, make the rest of your life the best of your life. And it's never, ever, ever too late to start. It doesn't matter how old you are. All you need to do is make the decision and start today. Because if you take care of your health today, you are healthier today and you are a better person today. So I hope this story spoke to you guys, and I just want to share that with you. And each and every one of you matter, and I really want you to focus on putting yourself and your health first, because if you do, everything else will fall into place. Thank you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.